Hello, everybody. Welcome back, or welcome here if you're just joining us. Yeah, great open. Anyways,
great start.
Great start. I am Wob Waffles. I am here. I'm from Olivet Nazarene University. I'm going to be casting this Rocket League game today, and I'm joined by.
I'm Error here. We thought it was very funny because before Error, I was Swag Pancakes, so we thought we could do the breakfast pastry. I'm from Baldwin Wallace. I'm also going to be doing some. I'm doing some of this. I was just on the Smash broadcast. If you were watching that, I'm kind of popping around doing a lot, but
multi-talented. It seems.
Like you were saying, Rocket League here going to be one of our first quarters on stream. It's going to be Cleveland State versus Mount Union. I want to say this is the 4 and the 5 seed, if I remember correctly. I was going to say this should be a very tight match. I know watching a little bit on both these teams, both them just coming off of pretty good seasons, like within their respective, I think it was NACE or NECC. Both them performing very well, and we're just going to jump straight into it. Game number 1 here on the cards, and the main thing is just who's going to start hotter.
Yeah, I think, especially in a close game, like where both teams are evenly matched, the momentum becomes so important, and the mental is just, I think whoever's mental is better and who gets the momentum. I think that's who we're going to see winning here. So far, Cleveland State getting the majority of the pressure here, and as we say that, that's a booming clear out to the Cleveland State side of the field. And booming clear by Lobo, back to the orange half. That's going off the back wall.
Yeah, it's a lot of, as I say, teamwork not looking quite there. Not a lot of hits that are going directly to other players on the team. A lot of setups trying to be done, but nothing quite connecting right now. But I imagine as not only this game, but this day goes on, a lot of that is going to be tightened up. A lot of these series, you know, are going to get very, very tight. And Sip, I was going to say, a setup that could have been found, but Prada or Lobo just not quite there to catch it, and is going to be Mount Union, at least with control, up to that crossbar, no connection, and it's instantly going to be CSU back in with the ball.
Yeah, and
to bring it around.
CSU's going to move it down to the orange half. That's floating in front of net. That's a goal line save there. It's off the backboard again. Who's there? Cleared out. And that's going to be Thunder sending that one back to the Cleveland State goal. He's going to go for a double tap, doesn't quite get it. That's blocked out by Prada. Lobo going to send that one back down to the orange half. Thunder catching that. It's off the backboard.
Yeah, he's up close. A little bit of aerial control getting passed around the UMU line. Prada trying to control, and Will actually bringing it down to the middle, but it is going to get intercepted. Lobo with a little bit of control. Sip, I think, just getting in the way of that shot. It might not have been there, but just giving UMU that control, and just not quite on the line. Could have been very scary. Nobody was back in goal for it. But back to a little bit of just neutral play, back and forth.
I think, like you said, Lobo with sneaking that one through. I think that was a bump play there. Let's watch that again.
As I say, it looked like Sip just got right in the way of one of the players. It's going to be Lobo sending that. Yes, Sip sending him just out of the way, able to get Cleveland State on the board early. Great
bump play there, leading to a goal for Cleveland State University about 2 minutes into this game. But yeah, as I was saying, I think what you said is pretty true. This is probably going to be a close game here. I mean, we saw scoreless for the first 2 minutes, which you don't always see that. Yeah. That's a double tap from Sip, and that goes in, extending the lead to 2-0 in favor of Cleveland State in this first game.
And that's one of the things that I was wondering. It's like, who's going to get hot first? And I mean, Sip showing off the mechanics, showing off why he is, you know, competing in this league, but still getting a little bit of back and forth, being still able to play off of his teammates. Lobo getting the assist on that hit. And it is just going to be CSU still.
He's going again. He's going again. Oh,
the slow play just not quite enough, but Lobo sending it back.
There's
Prada
another
potentially
there.
Able to get it.
All 3 players from Cleveland State getting involved here. And that's going to be a 3-0 lead. I mean, as soon as the floodgates opened, man, that water's rushing out, and we see Cleveland State getting the first momentum shift here.
I was going to say, we talked about it, scoreless for the first 2, and now another 2 scored within the next 30. Cleveland State, they found exactly what they need to do, and I think, you know, whether it happens this game or next, the story of it is going to be how is Mount Union going to be able to adapt, because CSU, they're playing oppressive and they are playing fast.
Save there from how do you pronounce that? I don't know how you pronounce it. Takani. We're going to go with that. If I'm wrong, find me and correct me. Prada going to do a musty flick there, trying to get it down goal. It's floating. It's out to Lobo. The goal is somewhat open. Okay, saved away by Takani.
Yeah.
Thunder booming it out of the orange half.
And it is going to be another double demo, and
there
it's going to be Takani again, starting to bring it back, getting that first necessary for the side of Mount Union now. A lot of pressure, and that double demo that we saw happen in the midfield, you know, putting so few people back in goal, it really only was Prada, and as soon as there's a second person, you can try, but it is going to be hard to really, as a solo, beat out a duo on the defense.
Yeah, but still, that's a really important goal just for raw momentum. I mean, the floodgates have opened from both teams. You know you can score now, so we'll see if Mount Union's able to even up here.
Prada coming from the height, gonna bounce it out. Sip there, but just not quite the right angle. Gonna send it more into the corner, and looked like a team bump there. Prada and Lobo, a little bit of midair connection, not quite allowing for as much of a follow-up and allowing Thunder to potentially start to do something. Prada still able to get that clear, brings it back, and there's nobody
that's
in
open.
the goal for Mount Union.
Oh my goodness!
The last second save from Takani keeps them alive still in this game. A 4-1 deficit going into like the last, you know, 75 seconds would have been absolutely heartbreaking at CSU, but keeping that pressure piled on high.
I mean, you got to start scoring now. And that Sip sneaking one through, going to take us to 4-1.
Taking up that lead now, Mount Union, they're going to need a goal about every 20 if they want to take it to OT, but if they want to, you know, bring it across the line and claw it back, it's going to be a long road ahead of them.
But I've seen crazier comebacks in my ranked games, so let's see what happens. You still have a minute here. So the game is not yet won. Ball currently floating in midfield. Thunder's going to be the first one to get to it, sends it to the corner. That's Lobo sending it back out, 50-50. Still in the blue half. Lobo, I think, just barely missing that.
Yeah, no connection, and that is going to keep it, you know, dangerously in CSU's position. Prada still able to keep that defense going, but Thunder now from the corner able to keep a little bit of pressure. Lobo with just the right amount of tack to keep it out of the goal. And now, you know, last 30 is going to be coming up pretty soon. And Mount Union, if you want to get something, you need to get a goal now, and then you need to start just piling on the pressure. Same way CSU was doing at that midway point, but Sip having that control of the ball, keeping it in the corner, keeping it out of Mount Union's hands, out of their control. Lobo now up and high, has the ball. Thunder going to be able to send it back. 14 left on the clock. It is just, it's looking like game one is going to go in the way of CSU.
Yeah, I mean, Mount Union just really has no good ball control here for this whole last minute. They never really got control, never had any good scoring opportunities. And Lobo with the goal for the road, gonna put the nail in the coffin here. 5-1 for our first game here in favor of Cleveland State.
Yeah, stat padding at this point, but I mean, at a certain extent, you know, whatever's gonna get you in the groove for this whole day, it's exactly what you need to get done. And I mean, we talked about it, you know, it's gonna be a long road back. Cleveland State looking absolutely on point for this land, and Mount Union looking, you know, they had some good control, a decent amount of pressure, but just when you look at the scoreline for CSU, again, a combined, what is that, 15 shots for CSU, where you're looking at only 6 for Mount Union. It really is, you know, showing who was in control on that offensive side.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Cleveland State was really just the one in the driver's seat, the one pressing the gas pedal for most of that.
Yeah, truly applying a lot of the pressure that was necessary for this, you know, to get that game won. And again, that hot start is really what's important. And like you said, carrying that momentum, going into the next set of games, going into the next even series, looking on later in the day. It's really about how does your team get that started. And, you know, loading back into game number 2 here, it's really about how does Mount Union turn, you know, a 5-1 deficit, -4 on your goal difference. How do you look about turning that into a positive record here as we move into the start of game number 2?
So something I noticed with Mount Union, especially in that last minute, is they were kind of just, it almost seemed like they got so panicked and desperate that they never really had good ball control. And so it never led to any good shot opportunities. So one thing I'd like to see here a little bit more is try to control the ball as much as you can. Try to just get it into the goal, because that's where you're going to get shot opportunities. Booming clears are good as a last resort.
Yeah,
but if you have the option to control it, that's almost always going to be better here.
You really need to keep people close to that ball, and at least with an understanding of when you send it somewhere, you want to know why you're sending it there. If it's just a clear, that's fine, but if you're sending it just to a position just to get it out of your hands, not necessarily toward a teammate, that's where things start to get problematic, and that's where we see teams like CSU, you know, they're sending it because they know there's another person there that can hold up their end of the bargain. And even when they don't need to send it out to another person, they've got people who are just ready to make those solo plays and really drive it into net.
Yeah, but so far I think we saw, at the start of the game, we saw Mountain Union with a good offensive drive. Right now they're on the defense. And so far holding on, so a scoreless game, a little bit over a minute into this second game. And I think that's open for Mountain Union.
That drive is just, I was going to say, it's just going to bring it in. And Mountain Union taking the early lead, something that we did not see them have at all during game one. And if anything, that, you know, just difference getting absolutely expended. And the main thing that I think you got to look at there is just that's a little bit of a misplay from CSU, having 3 people so far up. Those types of big booming clears, stuff that you were talking about, is going to get so much value when all of the players for the defense are essentially in the goalie's box.
And that was a uncontested shot there from Prada. Fortunately for Mountain Union, it hit the crossbar, but we're going to see Cleveland State on the offensive, caught out by Thunder. That's up in the air. Lobo catches it, but Thunder's there again. I think that's another goal.
Yeah.
That's going to be another goal. University of Mount Union clapping back here in this second game, going up 2-0 after about a minute 30.
Yeah, starting incredibly hot. And again, it's another one of those things that we were looking at for CSU when you look at that first goal, and especially that one, overstepping from the defense. Lobo being that last man back, you need to understand that you are that last line of defense. So I understand playing, you know, not necessarily in that goalie's box. This isn't regular soccer. You can move around. But understanding that, hey, if I'm that last line, I need to understand what my position needs to be. And now we're going to see Lobo starting that charge, trying to catch something out from the Mount players, but it is just going to stay in Mount's possession.
It's down to Sif. Nope, sent back to the Mount Union corner. And what is that bounce? That goes right in the middle. Lobo catches it. Who's going up for that? Caught by, I couldn't see who. That's off the crossbar by Prada, and almost with a double tap there. Sip trying to follow up, but no, the ball's going to be sent to the corner, and now Cleveland State has no boost to their name. Sip going for a double tap, fakes out one of the defenders, but the other one catches it. Prada is still in the corner. Lobo full boost, trying to take that home. Thunder sends it out back to the half field, or midfield. Prada sends that one up to Canny, catches out to Lobo. That's a 50. It's in front of net. Sip's a little bit too slow on the jump. That's another 50 in favor of, well, I don't know how you say that.
Yeah, TK is going to say he's able to keep a little bit of that pressure rolling and able to really, you know, try to keep things moving here, but it is going to be a little bit of icing on the play here. That shot, Lobo just barely able to get in front of it to Canny, almost having what could have been a very pivotal shot, but with 2 minutes left here, it's going to be another up-close play by Canny. Nothing to be found. Thunder on that line. Canny able to double, but nothing to be seen as the ball just keeps up here. Mount Union still in control. CSU struggling to get it out of their own corner. Sip could be that man having a little bit of start, but he is going to drop back, play around, and see what he can find.
Very slow play there. And that's going to be the ball getting sent back down to the orange half in the corner, 50-50. Prada gets demoed here, and that's going to be Thunder sending that one out of the orange half. And it seems like the game's kind of stabilized here. I mean, we've not seen any goals in the last few minutes. Both teams poking and prodding. That's down to Sip. He's going up over to Canny. Lobo's the last one up, and I don't think he got quite the hit he wanted on that. Prada.
Definitely not. Sending it straight up into the glass. Not something you want to see. And this ball just getting stalled out mid-air. It's going to be no contact until Canny able to keep things rolling.
That was a really good 50 there for Prada.
It was a really good win there. But Thunder able to boom it back. And at this point, that's where I'm more, you know, in favor of these booms. Just get it out of your position. You're up an entire goal. You don't need to worry as much about, you know, just a last-second equalizer. You can really worry about just, hey, keep our lead, move into the next with this momentum. And with the way this game's looking, it's looking like it's going to be a back and forth affair. 30 seconds left on the clock. Ball up high, but no connection to Canny. Sends it down. Thunder closes Mount Union player, but he is going to be out of boost, able to get the full.
Oh, Thunder, this is a dangerous position to be in. Oh.
A little bit of contact, but nothing you really want to see, and it gives Lobo the ability to kind of kill it and set Sip up for something massive, but it's going to be the knock from Canny. 9 seconds left.
Thunder. And I think this is it. This is Mount Union clapping back, getting the second game of the series. Once again, we're going 1st to 4. So far tied up 1-1 on the series, and I think we really just more or less saw the opposite of what we saw last game. Although, looking at the stats here, the shot differential is not that crazy here.
Yeah, I was going to say only 6-4 is the difference made, but I just, like we saw, you know, on that line, Mount Union making better of those shots. CSU getting 4 saves, but those 2 saves that they missed, that's exactly what Mount Union needed. As for CSU's shots, they were shots, but they just weren't on goal. Not a lot of saves really required out of the Mount Union players. And that means that, I mean, you're putting a lot of pressure on, but if that pressure just isn't really forcing weird movements out of Mount Union, it's not really going to matter in that long run.
That pressure was not getting converted into goals there for Cleveland State.
Yep.
So the playing field is even once again. Let's see who takes the lead in this third game of the series.
Yep, and it's looking like CSU potentially trying to get a little bit more pressure, but Mount Union, like you said, you know, a little bit questionable on the ball control in game 1. I feel like at this point it is stout. Thunder having a really good shot, but just not quite there, hitting the cross. It's going to be Takani sending another, but Sip able to keep things rolling for the side of Cleveland State. But TK sends it into the middle. It's going to be blocked by Lobo. Thunder really setting up for something massive, but nothing to be found. It's going to be Takani.
Yeah, Mountain Union starting out hot here with, I think, 3 or 4 shots on goal. That's another one saved out by Prada. So far, none of those shots converted into goals. But they have another opportunity here. Thunder with a shot cleared out by somebody. I didn't see who. Sip gonna boom that one down the field. And I think that was a fake, and that's gonna be Sip sending that one into the goal.
Yeah, Sip and Lobo with that double play, able to fake both high and low. You have to commit to one, and Lobo, yeah, exactly. He just moves out of the way. Thunder's not ready for it to come from that position.
I'm not sure if that was a fake or if he just ran out of boost.
I mean, either way, it works.
I'm not sure whether that was intentional or not, but either way, getting the defender out and Cleveland State getting the first goal here. And that might be another one. That one slips in from Lobo.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens here. Bacchus mod, please work. Thank you.
I was going to say, it's just the back and forth. Lobo able to get a little bit of a touch, and Thunder and TK just missing what would have been necessary defensive plays there. And now 1 minute in, CSU taking this 2-0 lead over Mount Union, but it's going to be the instant Takani. Just answers right back.
The kickoff goal there from University of Mount Union.
Back and forth is exactly what you like to see from games like this. Things constantly applying that pressure.
Yeah, so far pretty fun series to start off the day with and to start off the broadcast with.
Say a very good round 1 here for all of these players. Now it's going to have to be, how does Mount Union keep this defense? Even if CSU wins that kickoff, you need to be able to battle back and bring the ball back not only into your possession but into your opponent's goal.
That's popped up. Prada trying to take that one home. Saved out by Takani, out to TK. And cleared out by Lobo. Looks like that was a bump attempt. That's a really good 50 for Prada. That's off the Mount Union backboard. Cleared out to Sip. Lobo with a 50. It's floating in front. Who's going to get to it first? Takani gets there first.
He'll be able to get the beat, and he gets the second hit. Now TK up onto the side, but there's going to be just nobody there. Thunder potentially able to commit to that third, but he will drop back. Trying to play that defensive play, but unfortunately CSU now with that control could start rolling something. It's going to be TK, sends it into that corner. Takani up close, pops it back. Lobo going to be the next man here, but Thunder could play off of it. Sends it down into Prada. Prada now getting demoed, but still sends it out of the way. Mount Union has to worry about it, but Lobo sends it into the middle. Takani gets the hit. TK with another. Takani.
Wait, this might be free for TK.
He's getting sent down, but TK just no control left. Prada able to get that save and keep things rolling here.
Yeah, Lobo's going to look for maybe another fake. That's going to be a demo onto Takani, saved away by Thunder. Sent back to the blue half. Try again, I guess. Prada sending that one back to the orange half. Prada up off the backboard. A double tap attempt fails. Sip sending it off the backboard again. Cleared out by
TK.
Piddle Giggle, I think is the name there.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of this pressure getting brought up by by Mount Union here onto the CSU goal line. Sip still able to keep things in control, but Piddle keeps things, a little competitive. Prada now with control, going to get that full boost, goes up the side, but Thunder able to get the beat.
And that's a booming clear down to the orange half. Piddlegoogle's gonna go up with that one. Lobo misses. That was a swing and a miss right there. But he gets the shot saved away by Takani.
And Thunder able to keep that control back, rolling around now, keeping this ball as much as he can. Sip trying to, throw a wrench into the plans, but Takani keeping things moving as far as you would need. Thunder up close, sends it into the middle side. It's going to be Piddle with a little bit of contact, but Prada sends it up. Lobo with a touch. I don't think that's going to be quite in, especially with Takani's there, but it gets into a very, very sticky situation. Thunder now with control. Sip sending it back. The 50, going to send it up into the middle. Takani. Lobo sending it up. The reflect rate could have been very problematic, but...
Great 50 there for Prada. Sends that one down to the orange half. That's going to be floating in there. Takani gets the beat there. Out to Thunder on goal. Sip can't get the goal line save, and that's going to be Thunder getting an equalizing goal here.
Yeah, he's able to bring things back to the same line. With just over a minute left to play, I realistically think we could see some OT looking for our game number 3.
Yeah, that would be the first OT of the series. I'm here for it, but there's still a minute left. That's plenty of time to get a goal or two, so let's see what happens here.
Lobo getting that early stuff, but Piddle able to keep it up high off of Thunder, sends it into the middle, but nobody there. Sip able to get a little bit of control, but Thunder just sending it back. He's up close. Lobo getting that control back, trying to keep things out, but Piddle and Prada on each other, able to keep ball in neutrality.
Yeah, ball so far. That's going to be sent in front of the blue net, saved out by Lobo. And Mount Union is out for blood. Well, as we say that, that's going to be turned. That's going to be put in front of the Mount Union goal. No connection there. Thunder running it down. Out of boost. Saved by Sip. That's going to be Takani taking it off the wall. Prada sends that one towards his own net. And I think... Oh, wait, no, hold on. I just got totally messed up. That was not his own net. My apologies.
You flipped around. You flipped around.
I got, yeah, my brain.
Takani brings that ball control back, though, just over Prada, sending it back into the middle, but there's nobody there. And Lobo, he's able to take that control. 9 seconds left now. Thunder back up in the air. It's the final countdown. Up close, but nothing to be found, and it really looks like we are going to be going to some extra time here unless Sip is able to do something magical.
Demo onto Thunder, but I think they're... No, wait, they're going to try and turn that. That's floating. Do we let it die or do we keep it alive? Keeping it alive for the time being, still on the orange half. Sip sending it above net. And it's still over to the other corner, out to Lobo, sends it back. Sent out by Thunder, caught by Prada, it's up in the air. Lobo demos to Takani. Sip to Lobo, to the ground, and we're hitting OT here.
Yep, first time game is going to start rolling, and it is going to be Takani getting that break, able to get defended by Prada in the right position, but Piddle is also able to get a little bit of that control off the wall, now looking for something, but Sip sends it up. Thunder able to get it back and around. Prada on that back line, trying to take him to Takani, sends it into the wall. Pogo's off into the open arms of Lobo, and Sip, he sends it up.
Wait.
Takani Lobo back, no control in Lobo.
Yeah, Lobo's going to get that goal there for Cleveland State, winning the overtime and taking them ahead in the series 2-1. And what I kind of disappointing that OT was that short, but at the same time, long OTs can get real dragged out.
They can get real dragged out, real hectic. But I mean, when we talk about that, Mount Union really, I think winning the offensive pressure battle, but CSU just having stout defense. Again, 4 shots from every player in Mount Union, only a combined 8 coming from the side of CSU. But
wow,
when you look at it, what matters is the ones that sneak in, and Mount Union just overwhelmingly having the lacking of saves, only having 4 compared to the 8 of Cleveland State. They were able to defend everything that was necessary, and of the 4 shots, 2 of them just that fake pressure stuff that just doesn't really apply. And again, looking into the next game, Mount Union, they clearly have their offense in check. It's just a matter of making sure that it actually results in something.
Yeah, I mean, I think we going into this series expected this to be a lot more momentum based, but so far we've just seen one game, one team really just shines, and then the next game the other team shines. Like it, I really thought we would have seen more momentum, but it makes sense. It's just been so back and forth here.
Yeah, and I mean the main thing with that I feel like has to be just the players getting more warm and getting more comfortable,
Yeah.
To a certain extent, you can warm up, and I know a lot of teams were here last night getting some warm-up in, making sure that they know, hey, what are the setups we're playing on? How does everything feel? Am I, playing good? But on the day, it's a completely different notion. Takani, able to knock Prada out there and keeps Mount Union's ball control on the line, but it's just sitting up in that middle position. Piddle over to Takani, keeping that pressure online.
So far, no real shot opportunities coming through. That's going to be a shot from Lobo, saved away, or shot by Thunder, saved away by Lobo. Prada's trying to take it down, gets it past one defender, 50'd out. Holy moly, what a monstrous 50 win there.
Yeah, and Lobo just playing exactly what he needed to, right off the roof, back into the corner for Mount Union. It is going to be the clear by Thunder now. Both Thunder and Takani charging up that middle. Lobo is going to be able to get that control over too, but Piddle keeping that third little bit. But Prada coming up from the side. He's up above Takani with the save, sending it back. Sip still here, still looking to give CSU some more control. And it's just a rotation off this right wall. Sip to Lobo to Prada. It's just back and forth, and Takani keeps that position.
Yeah, Prada very nearly sneaking that one through the goal line, but close but no cigar. That's going to be floating in front of the University of Mount Union goal, and that one gets sent in by Prada.
Yeah, slips it right where he needed to, just across the line. No defender quite in place.
Yeah.
CSU now taking a lead in this fourth game of the series, what could potentially be their third in that race to 4.
But let's see what Mount Union does. They sort of win the kickoff, sending it down towards the blue half. Prada's going to catch that, get it over one. I think he's going to go for another.
He's looking for it.
Sip was looking for a bump there, it seemed. Okay, Lobo, Cleveland State keeping the gas pedal held down. They get a crossbar shot saved away there by Takani. But Lobo's going to go again, sends that one in, caught by Thunder.
And Thunder has some positioning. He has some power. No boost now, but still was able to get it across. That near miss from Takani, unfortunately, is going to give CSU the open door. Thunder only with 12. He's not going to be able to do a lot with it, but he's going to be able to send it to his teammate Takani. He does a little bit more, able to start something. Prada close. The ball gets killed. Lobo now in control, driving it up the wall. Thunder up close and is able to actually rip it from Lobo's hands, trying to keep position and pressure. But CSU, they're just everywhere they need to be. But that's going to be an open goal, and Piddle, he's just able to drive it in. CSU, I think, caught a little bit out on rotation. I said they were everywhere there where they needed to be, but unfortunately Lobo,
that totally
just coming in from the side and was not ready for it to go in that fast.
That caught me off guard. I was not expecting that to go in from the angle that we had. But alas, that's the goal that's going to bring Mount Union back into this game. 1-1 tied up. Let's see who gets the next goal. 2 minutes and 30-ish left on the clock. Sip's going to try and walk this one down the field, caught by Piddle Giggle. Oh wait, that's past one defender. Lobo's trying to send it home, saved out by Takani, but Prada is still here, and Prada has boost. Going for a double tap down to Sip. No, cleared out. Sent back down towards Cleveland State, and Takani's going to try and take this one home.
He's just a little bit too fast. That ball not moving quite his pace, and unfortunately that's going to mean that, that control just getting wrestled around Sip. Looked like he got bumped by one of his teammates, but Prada now is on that ball, trying to keep things moving around. Piddle with a little bit of pressure. But the demo coming out from Lobo could be disastrous if CSU is able to get it back in time. But it's going to be sent right back. It's just back and forth. Now we are in a doubles game for at least the next couple of seconds as these players respond, though, back to our standard setup.
Lobo getting a demo onto Thunder. Takani is up. It's currently just a 2-man crew for Mount Union. It's going to go off the Cleveland State backboard, cleared out by Sip. Sip's going to dribble that one, gets 50'd in the midfield. Prada's there. Two-man double commit there. Saved by Takani. It's up in the midfield. Cleveland State's going to keep pushing this.
Yeah, Thunder with a little bit of pressure, or could provide a little bit of pressure. Piddle as well. Unfortunately, CSU, they're just being able to barrel stuff, but this might actually be the break that they need. Thunder able to drive it at least a little bit down that left line. Lobo is going to be able to beat him to it as I speak. Prada with a little bit of control, but Piddle sends it to that midline. Canny not going to be able to find it, and that's going to go back to the middle.
Prada's walking that one in, I think.
Oh, Thunder just able to get there in time, but Lobo, he's in this corner. Sends it up. It drops down. Sip, maybe with a little bit of control, but Zanny keeping things live.
Ooh, nice 50 there. Sip's going to try and send that one on goal. That's a shot out to Lobo, top corner and in. Cleveland State taking the lead here with 33 seconds left.
Yep. And I mean, they're just applying the pressure that they need to. It's back and forth, but as soon as they get, it's like sharks, you get a little bit of blood in the water, they know exactly what to do, and they know exactly how to commit. as for Mount Union, you need to start having a little bit of that killer instinct in you. 30 seconds left.
Oh my goodness.
With the flip over to Lobo, it's just, I was going to say CSU. They're just pulling tricks up now. Able to play that slow play.
They're in the lead. Now they're going for clips.
Yeah. And I mean that, I was going to say, good clip to go for, getting that control, getting that pressure going now. And just under 30 seconds left, Mount Union 2 down. Sip gets a kickoff win, but Thunder now in control, going up high. Prada able to, stop the move.
Wait. Oh my gosh, almost a goal there from Mount Union, but you get a double crossbar hit and it slides right out.
It keeps the pressure though for CSU. Now Lobo in the corner trying to find something, but nothing to be found. But Sip is up high, he's down low, keeping the ball rolling. 2 seconds
Thunder,
left.
do you get a goal for the road? No, that's going to be sent down. Cleveland State going to match point here.
Yeah, series point here for at least the first set that we have on this stream. And I mean, they just applied pressure on pressure on pressure. 4, 6, and 2, a combined 12 shots made here. Mount Union only having a quarter of that, sitting at 3.
Yeah, I mean, the name of the game here so far has just been pressure. Who can apply pressure better and make use of that pressure better? Cleveland State's been the one winning out in that regard, at least so far. Let's see. It's lock-in time, boys. If you are a Mount Union fan or if you are a player on Mount Union, it's time to lock in.
I was going to say, it's time to show up. I mean, you have to win now, what? I was going to say, I think 3 in a row if you want to take this series home. You can't let CSU get any one of those. And even in those games, we talk about momentum and we haven't really seen it, but now's the time for that to really come out. If there's any time where you need to start actually rallying up and not just going back and forth, it's no longer enough to trade. You need to start winning, and that needs to start happening right now.
So let's see what they do. Kickoff is first good opportunity here they're going to get, and no, Cleveland State's going to win that kickoff pretty definitively. Sip getting a demo. They're down a defender, and Cleveland State with an open goal here right off the kickoff.
Yeah, off the kill. Lobo able to get that last tap in, even though he explodes, just able to affect it right before he dies. And that gives CSU this early lead in what could be our decider match.
That's not what you want to see for Mount Union, but for Cleveland State, I mean, you're hitting the gritty right now. You're in such a good position here. You're on match point, up a goal from the kickoff. All the momentum is in your favor here if you're Cleveland State, and I say that, and Piddlegiggle gets another goal there, sneaks it past 2 defenders.
Yeah, that's unfortunately, I think, a little bit of miscommunication. Sip and Lobo, again, Lobo just getting the tag onto Sip.
Was that a team bump?
It was.
Oh, no.
Here, stopping what could have been, a very easy save, and now we're 15 seconds in, and game might as well have just started. Scores equalized, no player really in control. Zanny sending it high, but nothing to confirm, and Sip just wrestles that control back. He might have had something. Lobo able to take it from that corner and gets that 50 win from Zanny. Sip a little bit more, but Thunder, he's bringing it back, bringing it into the corner. Prada needing something massive.
And Mount Union, they're putting the pressure on now. I mean, they're keeping the ball here on this blue half. That's a booming clear, and Sip that was an attempted team pass right there. Doesn't come to fruition, but Lobos gets a flip reset, keeping the pressure on here. Hikani gonna send that one out, gonna try and take that one down the field. 50 into the blue corner. It's up. Thunder puts it in front of net, cleared out by Sip, out to Lobo, boomed back towards the orange backboard. This is gonna be a double tap attempt, I think. No. Cleared out by Thunder. Sip is up. Nobody hits the ball, just like my Diamond ranked games. And we're going to be sending that one down towards the blue half. And Piddlegiggle's trying to muscle this one through. Thunder keeps it in. It's floating out to Lobo. Sent in the air. Sip trying to catch it. Thunder gets a 50 with Lobo. That's out to Piddlegiggle. Sends it out to the corner. And cleared out by Sip. Up to Lobo.
Yeah, he's up high, could have something. Unfortunately, it is going to be the defense from Takani allowing the pressure for Mount Union to build. Piddle could have had a massive shot, but Prado just in the right place at the right time, and Sip with that clear. Takani keeping that control in the corner, but it is going to be the Sip bounce back. Thunder now able to wrestle it. Prada sends it up, but Lobo with that bump unable to follow up, and now a little bit of neutral gameplay, trying to figure out Poke and Prod what is going to be the go button, what's going to be the call. Sip up close, and a little bit of speed, but all just really stalling out in this midfield.
Prada was the last man back, gets that save there. Now Sip's trying to get a little bit creative here. No, Piddlegiggle grabs that one, sends it in front of net, saved by Lobo. And Takani's going to keep this one in, popped up by Sip. Lobo trying to take that one out. Down to Thunder. I mean, so far, Mount Union's doing a really, really great job of preventing Cleveland State from getting the ball out of their half and, like, moving it to their half. Like, Cleveland State, now they've started booming it just to get it out, and then Mount Union will go, okay, and their last man back catches it and brings it right back in.
Yeah, Mount Union's been great at cycling this pressure, you know, not allowing CSU to really ever get comfortable, not allowing them to really feel like they have a good level of control on this ball. But as I say that, Sip potentially could start something, but like you said, last man back to Canny, he's able to send it out. Sip back, Prada,
and
no
last
quite
man
connection,
back.
But Sip, he could have had something, but nothing to be found.
Yeah, and there we go. The ball's right back in the Cleveland State half. Mount Union putting the pressure on here. Shot by Thunder, saved by Prada. Prada's going to try and take this one out, but he has no boost.
Yeah, he's so low again.
Oh, demo, wait.
Kill into Thunder might do something, but unfortunately, I was going to say, last CSU player, Lobo, understands that as soon, if things get reversed, he needs to be that last man. Prada able to keep that control, keep that confirmed. Moving up with a little bit of ball, but no boost. Nothing to be found. Sip trying to keep the play rolling, but he cannot. And Candy now up high, bringing it down. Sip gets the kill onto Thunder.
Yeah, and that's going to be Piddlegiggle trying to take that one home. No, gets beat out. Thunder with the save there, Prada. And now I think Cleveland State's trying to go on the offensive. No, Thunder booms that one out. Double commit there from Cleveland State. That's out to Piddlegiggle. Caught by Sip, really nice. To Canny up with no real boost to his name. That's sent out to the mid. That's going to be Piddlegiggle grabbing that one. No second connection. There was a bump attempt there. Does not come to fruition. And Cleveland State's moving the ball down. They're gonna try and get some shots here. Nope. Thunder moves that one out. Lobo with a demo though. This could open the door. That bump would have been absolutely brutal there. And a crossbar shot there from Takani. It's almost a 1v1. Okay, no. There we go. 50-50. Prada down to Thunder. Thunder's going to take that one up. Full boost over Sip off the backboard. Prada clears that one out down to Lobo, who's going to take that one up into the air. Almost bumped off the ball. We're in 10 seconds. We might be going to overtime.
Yeah, I feel like we could be seeing another overtime really soon, but it is going to be the send down to Canny. Sends it up high. Sip with the connection, with the control, and I think this is just going to be a kill. Send it to OT.
No. Okay, there we go. Sent to OT. All right, are we going to see a kickoff goal here, or are we going to see 3-minute overtime? Let's find out.
It really could be whatever, but I think
that could have been a kickoff goal, but they messed up the flip.
It could have been, but there was no connection, I was going to say, from Mount Union. Like you said, Thunder able to pass it up to Canny.
Backboard.
Something live, but Sip with a little bit of control. That bump from Piddle onto Prada. I'll go get a little bit of control, and now, again, still.
Mount Union, all the pressure here. And I think they have the momentum, too, because they scored the last goal.
Yeah, they have a little bit of pressure now that both teams know what is on the line here. Mount Union wanted to keep the series alive. CSU not wanting to let it go to extra, wanting to just end it here.
Wait, that's a shot, and that's a goal for Thunder! And Mount Union stays in this series, stays alive, takes us to 3-2.
Able to keep things rolling now. And again, like we talked about, it's that momentum that needs to start building now. Because we've seen both these teams take a win and then things start to slow down. You know, something happens and just that momentum does not carry over. But I mean, like you said, Mount Union were just great at keeping that pressure alive. A combined 10 shots, where CSU only having that 6. And I mean, now it's saving 5 of them. So CSU really just lacking a little bit on their overall control, especially just in that game. But I mean, you know, we need to see Mount Union continue that, because that's one of the main criticisms that we were having earlier in this series. It was very back and forth. There was no real building of one team having the advantage and continually building that advantage, going from game to game, you know, keeping it rolling. It was very back and forth.
Another thing I want to note there is we saw at the end, both teams everybody just immediately pressed ready. Both teams don't want to spend any time here. They know what they want to do. They understand the assignment. They just want to play the game, which is very respectable.
Really
Lobo.
Keep things rolling.
All right, and off the rip, Cleveland State getting some offensive pressure here. Sip with a shot, and they're trying to keep it on. Yep, that's out to Sip again. That's going to be off the backboard. Takani saves that one away.
Yep. keeps things good. Lobo up close, has a lot of boost, could really try for some fancy footwork here, but Thunder just able to send that out. Prada with a little bit more control, sends it back into the board. Pill with that send back, and Sip looking for more than just the one, but he will not get it. Steals the boost though. So all these players from the side of Mount Union are not going to have a lot to play with, at least in terms of that momentum. Lobo.
Save there from Lobo.
Keeps it alive, keeps it moving, keeps it grooving.
Alrighty, Thunder is going to try and move this one down, but all out of boost. That's to Takani. No! Oh my! What did I just witness? That was like, I thought that Thunder just full trolled that, blocked the shot.
Oh no, 100%.
No, but if you're in the lobby, you're saying, yeah, that's calculated. That was on purpose.
We keep it rolling. No need, no worries. Just keep it moving. You know, don't even think about how it could have been a miss. Just think about, you know, hey, we got a goal on the board. We're in the lead now. 4 minutes to go. Let's try to expand this lead. Let's try to expand what we're doing. And that send out to Thunder. Prada, he's able to take it.
Sip with the demo onto Takani. Mountain Union on the back foot right now. Takani, although that demo actually helping him, he was right in the position he needed to be to get that save. And I think Mountain Union's going to try and move this one down the field. Prada gets a good catch there. Takani sends that one right back in though. Sip sends it up to the backboard, clears it out to the corner.
Sip up high, bringing it down low. Prada now with a little bit of control. He's going to get bumped and bruised though by Thunder, but it's going to be Takani who actually takes that control back and sends it away from Sip, dead in the midfield. It is going to be Mount Union taking it back up, but Takani sends it out towards that middle. It is going to be the pump fake, but Thunder, he's able to, you know, move it back. Lobo now going to be next man up to challenge. Thunder with that mid hit, Piddle up into the height, going to be hit out by Prada, but Takani keeps that control. Sip now with a break, potentially a shot, but it's going to be Thunder able to save. Lobo up high, 40 boost, but nothing to be done. Sip.
Thunder with a save, Sip with a shot. That's Prada keeping that one in. That's in front of the net again. Takani clears it out and gonna just walk it down the field. Lobo catches, sends it back to the midfield. Lobo gets it past another defender, and I think Sip's there. It's open, and that's gonna be the evening goal there for Cleveland State, taking us to 1-1 in this series, or in this game with 2 minutes 43 left.
The equalizer found off of an overcommitment. Piddle just not in the correct position. Sip just being a little bit ahead now, and with about half of the game gone, it's going to be all about how do things keep moving. But Sip, no boost, but maybe could have gone for something there. Lobo able to keep the possession out of Piddle, sending it over to Thunder, but Sip, he's got that beat.
Wait, that could be open.
Yeah,
that's a shot for Prada. That's popped up. Nobody's really there to stop that. Okay, yeah, there we go.
Sip, no boost. And nobody on Mount Union also having it, so nobody could really get to that ball, so it's just it was gonna lie dead, but now sent over to the side of CSU. It is going to be the bounce from Prada and Lobo, sending it over to the side. Sip up there.
Wait, that's so dangerous. Takani just barely clearing that out. And who's gonna get possession of the ball here? Lobo trying to send that one back into the orange half. I couldn't see, that's in front of net. Back to the corner. So far, Mount Union hanging on. That's a demo onto Takani. That's going to be Prada trying to take this one down. And that's to Sip, who's going to take it to Lobo. Lobo's up with a pretty good amount of boost. Gets a flip reset. That's a demo. That's a double tap. No, Sip. The ball gets saved by Piddle Giggle. But that's Prada with another shot. Takani with the goal line save. This is insane. Mount Union hanging on by a thread here. It's in front of net again. No follow-up there from Cleveland State.
Prada literally trying to get close enough that he could just take his hand out of his car and just slap the ball in, but he's just not. There's no secondary player to be there. And Takani, what could have been a shot, gets saved by Prada. Full boost now. Wanted to go on the offensive, but it is going to be a little bit of back and forth. It's going to be Thunder now with that control. Prada up close, sends it down, tries for the pinch, but Takani in the right place at the right time, sends it up, gets it slightly out.
That's sent down to Thunder. That's open, and that's going to be Mount Union getting the goal here, taking them into the lead with a minute left.
Yeah, 1:05 to play with is going to be that score line. And Mount Union, now you just need to play on that defensive side. Sure, it's not fun. It may not be pretty, but that's what you need to do at this point. And for the side of Cleveland State, you need a breakaway goal. It's going to be Lobo with that slow play. Nothing to be found. It's just going to be a pileup in the corner. Sip with full boost. Only man to have it. Going up.
Sip has a real opportunity here, and just a little bit wide there on the shot.
And over, but nothing to be found. Lobo now up top. Prada with the mid-air stall.
I think he was trying to just like lightly redirect it. I don't think he connected how he wanted to at that. Wait, that's going to be Mountain Union trying to take this one home, and they might get it. And that's going to be tipped off of the hood of a Cleveland State player and directly into their own goal.
It's going to be tipped off the tip of Sip, sent into the net for CSU to take over, getting now the 3.
I mean, if you're Mountain Union out there, I mean, you're out there like recording a TikTok right now. Like, you don't need to even play the game that much. You just have to stay the course, to hold on the defensive side of things. And that might be what we're about to see. Cleveland State going on the offensive here. 25 seconds left for them to score a goal. Piddlegiggle trying to send that one into the net, saved away by Prada, but Piddle gets the boost and stays in it.
Yeah, Sip getting the kill. Will send it back a little bit. Prada in that midfield, but will miss it as well.
Looks like my diamond ranked games. Nobody hits the ball in the air.
Exactly. And now it's looking like we are going to be going to that decider. Piddle just trying to keep things dead.
And that's it.
Not wanting CSU to get any more, and they are going to kill it. It's going to be another.
Wow.
It's going to be the first Game 7 of the day. Truly what you want to see coming from, again, the tightest seed matchup that we have in this opening round. And if you look at the side of CSU, it was actually them leading on the offense, but Mount Union just making better work of it. CSU having double the shots of Mount Union. Mount Union sitting at that 6, CSU at 12. But just
didn't necessarily feel like Cleveland State had the most shots there. I'm going to be honest with you here. Like, it felt like Mount Union was pretty in control for most of that game. So, yeah, really, really exciting series so far. We're going to Game 7. I mean, if Mount Union wins this is almost a reverse sweep.
It's very close. I mean, you trade 1 for 1, essentially go into a BO5, and then the other team goes up 2, and then you bring it back 3. So it's like, however you want to look at it, it's like almost. But again, as we've been saying, it's the closest seeds. It's expected to be a tight matchup, and it is exactly that. Going to this game number 7 is going to be, exactly the call, exactly where we are headed over to. And I think, Mount Union, they have the pressure. They have their foot on the gas. They can absolutely win this out if they want to. But CSU, you got to stop the bleeding at some point.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
there's no better time than the present.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to this. It's just a simple game of Rocket League. So is Cleveland State going to win this, or is Mount Union going to complete their basically reverse sweep? Let's find out here.
Yeah, Sip and Candy with the double invest is going to be a lot. Thunder sends it up, but there's no follow-up. The crossbar hit is going to allow for CSU to get a little bit more pressure. Lobo, what could have been more, gets sent back into the corner, and Sip now up high, sends it down low. Lobo with a little bit of control, but Candy is going to kill out Sip. Prada now trying to keep some pressure. Lobo, the second right-hand man of this combo, is going to get a little bit on, and Sip off of the respawn, trying to get back into the action. Nothing to be found, but Prada up high sends it just deep into the corner, and it's going to be a wild bounce out. Sip trying to get a little bit of control, but unfortunately it's going to be a center. What could have been more for Mount Union is going to be shut down by CSU, but Thunder, he's up hard. He does not have the boost, so Sip is going to take over.
Lobo's taking that.
He's got a little bit. Piddles trying to send it back out. Sip looking to wrestle it back into control, but Zanny sends it out and in. Thunder with more. And Zanny, what could have been the touch will not, and it's going to allow Sip to get a little bit more pressure of what he wants. Thunder gets sent out. Lobo now bringing it back, bringing it around, looking to see what he can do, but it's going to be nothing. Prada and Takani 50-50 and sending it out. And Sip on the height. Lobo going to bring it around into the back, but it's going to be Thunder taking that control back.
Yeah, and we're seeing Cleveland State with some good offensive pressure here. Lobo going to keep that one in, caught by Thunder. Demo onto Lobo. This might open the door for Mount Union to get some pressure in, but that's a really good stop there from Sip. Opens the door for Lobo to come in and get the aerial. Takani saves that one, and we're back onto the Mount Union side. Thunder trying to take this one out, caught by Lobo. It's in the midfield, and Piddle is going to catch that, and back into the orange corner. We're seeing Cleveland State just being really, really oppressive right now, not letting Mount Union take this ball down to the blue half.
Yeah, which, I mean, when they're trying to close it out, that's exactly what you want to see. It's exactly what you want to hear. You want them to be that high-pressure, high-intensity type of team and not letting Mount Union get a lot into that. It's going to be a trade. Thunder and Prada both going out. Now, Takani could have found something, but it is going to be Thunder back on that ball. Prada up height, nothing to be found. Sip, last man back. no boost, will get it into the corner. Lobo able to send it out and far, but with no boost to follow, it's going to have to rely on Prada into the middle. Not quite low enough, and it is going to be Tikani sending it back out into Thunder. Thunder back into the corner. Lobo with a little bit of a connection, but it is going to be close. Lobo getting that save right before the kill comes on out. Prada looking for something, but nothing to be found. Piddle into the middle. Thunder not there quite enough. Sip keeping it moving and grooving.
And the momentum's flipped to the other side. Mount Union being pretty oppressive here. Well, they were at least. Nope, there we go. Takani sending that one back onto net. That's going to force a save from Sip. Piddle Giggle keeps it in, and Takani sends that one home.
Yeah, nobody there for CSU, and that's going to give Mount Union the lead in the final game. 1-0, just a little under 2 minutes of play left to go.
I mean, that has to be so tilting for Cleveland State. I mean, you're on match point for 2 games, and Mount Union just wrestles it out of your grip here, and now in the final moments they take the lead with a goal. I mean, these are the kind of moments where champions are made. Let's see if Cleveland State can get an evening goal here.
I was about to say, like, you want so much to happen, but unfortunately, with the way that it's looking, with the way that things are moving around, there's just looking like nothing to be found. Prada.
Oh, Prada walking it in front of net, and then, oh my gosh, almost an own goal there, but the ball is still in front of the Mount Union goal. That's past one defender, though. Thunder gets a save and has all the boost in the world. That's going to be out to Lobo. No, Piddle Skittle gets it over him. The ball's in front of the blue half. Takani demoed. Lobo trying to carry this one out, but he has no boost. Thunder sending it on net. Prada getting the save there. Going to try and clear this one out. But no, Piddle Giggle's going to keep that one in. It's off the backboard. Lobo sending it out to Prada, who sends it up. And Thunder's going to catch it here.
Less than 60 seconds remain now, less than 50. And CSU, they need to get something rolling fast. It's going to be Prada up height, sends it back down. It's going to be Thunder Takani actually getting taken out by Sip. Lobo needs to start something, but Piddle gets it denied. Sending it back and forth.
No, Takani! Oh my gosh, if you're Mount Union here, I mean, you're standing up and you're doing a Fortnite emote. Like, this is insane. University of Mount Union going up 2-0 with 30 seconds left.
It's the late game resurgence they play for, the long games they play for, the heat up, and it has come finally. Now, what could have been another kickoff breakaway is actually going to be CSU bringing it into the corner, but Takani now keeping things rolling, keeping it moving around.
They're already on the ground. Don't keep beating them, Mount Union.
Keeping a little bit of that pressure going, and with 15 seconds left, CSU, they need a goal now or never. And it's just looking like Mount Union has a little bit too much. 10-second countdown comes to bolster. It's going to be 5 seconds left. CSU, no time, no goal, nothing to be found. That defend from Thunder is going to be it.
Wow.
Lobo trying to get something for the road, but it's just going to be the kill from Mount Union, taking the game, taking their first series on this LAN day, and it's going to advance them to the semifinals.
I mean, what an incredible series we just opened up with there. I mean, effectively a reverse sweep. I mean, a very, very close series all around. I mean, GG's to everybody involved. That's really, really awesome series. And as we can see, the Mount Union players here celebrating as well they should. That was an absolutely incredible comeback there.
I was going to say, giving themselves some of that credit, but I mean, like, listen, the road is not done yet. It's the 4 going over the 5. I mean, an expected outcome, but, you know, a lot tighter than you might have bet on, and now it's going to be, they're going to have to face the winners, Shawnee State and Indiana Wesleyan University. So another, a 1 versus a 9 seed, a real David Goliath story that is, going to be happening in a little bit later today. When you look across the rest of the bracket, Indiana Tech over Bethel. It's going to be Ohio Northern taking out Illinois Wesleyan, set in their matchup. Ohio Northern taking on St. Xavier, 2 up against the 7 seed. Then when you look in those lowers, teams that have, fallen out of contention for Grands, Cleary taking on Bethel, 8 and 6. Illinois and Cleveland State, a 10 and a 5 seed matchup. It's a long road ahead for all of these players. Before the University of Mount Union, they have a little bit of a break. They have some time, you know, catch a breath, maybe get some water, maybe get a little bit of snacks.
I know I'm going to need to get some water here.
It's a long, long day. And we're going to have more of that coverage coming to you. I think after a short break, going to have to get the players changed out, lobbies set back up. But yeah, I say we'll catch you here. More Rocket League action, at least for the first half of the day. After that break, we're going to be doing some player awards, recognizing those outstanding members of this conference. And then after that, it's going to be Overwatch.
It's my time. It's my time.
It's going to step up to play. But yeah, no matter what, make sure you stay tuned. If you're interested, we got Smash going on over. Game Arena Co. is the address for those games, and that's going to be running all day. So whether you want to stick with us or stick down there, pick a stream. Make sure you get watching. We got great options going on all over the place. So make sure you stay tuned because we'll be back.